Next game is the Bucks and the Titans. The Bucks took this one 20-6. Will Levis was 19 of 39, 199 yards, 0 touchdowns, and an interception. He did not record any rushing stats. He's going to be in that Gardner Minshew sort of streaming category where he's going to be up and down. Will Levis was a second-round pick for a reason. He has a really strong skill set, but as far as like being a consistent quarterback, a consistent winning quarterback is concerned, I don't think he's all the way there yet. He had the explosion in the debut, but he's kind of coming back down to earth now. So if you have DeAndre Hopkins, hold him, because him and Will Levis, even though Hopkins didn't play well in this, him and Hopkins have a solid connection. Him and Kyle Phillips have a solid connection too, which is super interesting. But I think if you have Will Levis, he's a safe drop. If you have any of these tight ends players, just hang on to him. Don't go too crazy over this performance, but just understand what you're in for, because it's going to be up and down all year with these Titans players. Derrick Henry, 11 carries, 24 yards. Super disappointing stuff. He also had just the one catch for -4 yards. Just miserable game for Henry. You still got to play him because he's Derrick Henry, but at the same time, this totally stinks. Tyjae Spears, 5 carries for 18 yards. If Derrick Henry ever goes out, Tyjae will be a top 10 back. He is more than capable. He already gets the receiving work, 4 catches for 42 yards in this one. But if he gets all the carries, look out, because he's going to be an absolute weapon in fantasy. So if you have Derrick Henry, I would recommend keeping Tyjae Spears stashed on your bench. Hopkins, 3 catches, 27 yards on 8 targets. He led the team in targets, just didn't do much with him. I think he's a little bit of a buy low because he wasn't amazing last game either. But at the same time, like we were talking about with Levis, it's going to be up and down all year. Kyle Phillips had the 3 catch for 61 yards on 5 targets. Really good stuff there. He has a solid floor with Will Levis. Chig Okonkwo, 3 catches for 27 yards on 6 targets. I think he is a safe drop. He just hasn't really gotten anything going this year. Chris Moore had 2 catches for 21 yards on 4 targets. Josh Wiley, the rookie tight end from Cincinnati, had 2 catches for 16 yards on 5 targets. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine just had the catch for 9 on 4 targets. And Derrick Henry just had the catch for -4 on 1. For the Bucks, Baker Mayfield was 18 of 29, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He also had 3 carries for 12 yards. Really solid streaming quarterback for Baker Mayfield if he has the matchup. You could do much worse than having Baker Mayfield. He's going to be below the Jared Goffs and the CJ Strouds, but he'll be above the Gardner Minshews and the Will Levises. Chase Edmonds, 4 carries for 9 yards. He's not an ad because Rachaad White, he doesn't get efficiency, but he gets all the receiving stats, and even when he doesn't get efficiency, none of these other backs get efficiency either. So 20 carries, 51 yards on its own is garbage, but you look at the receiving stats, 2 catches, 47 yards, and a receiving touchdown. He's just making up for it every single game with these receiving stats. You got to play him because he's getting all this volume, and there's really not a serious threat to his volume either with how these other backs are performing. Like Chase Edmonds, having a lower yards per carry in this one on 4 carries is not going to hurt Rachaad White's chances of getting all the work here whatsoever. Devin Tompkins had a carry for 6, and Kyle Trask came in and just had the 1 carry for -1. Mike Evans, solid play. I don't know if he's matchup proof, but if the matchup is there, you got to play him. 6 catches, 143 yards, and a touchdown on 10 targets. Monster stuff from him. Chris Godwin, 4 catches for 54 yards. This is about what we should expect from Chris Godwin. About 10 points every single week. Trey Palmer had the 2 catches for 21 yards on 4 targets. He almost didn't play in this one with an injury. Cade Otton, he had the monster game last week, but came back down to earth. 2 catches for 10 yards. I think he's a safe drop. Devin Tompkins had a catch for 5, and Chase Edmonds just had the 1 catch for -2.